Hey guys, I'm Nate and welcome to the Inform AU podcast, where we take some interesting scientific articles which are relatively new and use them as a conversation starter. So today I am joined by the amazing Patrick.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Nate.
No, definitely. Thank you very much for giving up some of your evening to join us for a podcast. How are you going?
Excellent.
That's good to hear. So, I've asked you what type of article you would be interested in, and I've been scouring the internet for the last couple of days, and I found one that was only released today. And essentially the title of it was saying that AIs are most likely going to be beneficial for human existence and not a threat to our lives. Okay, so triggered. Like, how does that title make you feel?
I've watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day more than any other movie in the world, so
Okay.
I think I've got a little something to say about that.
Yeah. Skynet.
Yeah, those fools, yeah.
So do you think they are going to be more harm or less harm, or what do you think?
Look,
Or just harm in general?
I think it's a bad idea to come up with, like, sentience and then, enslave them in our computers and, like, make them do terrible things. And
Yeah.
it's just, like, I know that science fiction projects futures and they're always hyperbolized, like, they terrible things or great things can happen. But, like, as soon as we start inventing robot people, they're going to be like, wow, like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be fighting for amusement in, your, like, Robo Coliseum or whatever.
Fair enough. Yeah. Would you go out of your way to invest in a robot to fight in your Coliseum, or would you just have a power?
Like, I think I would I would probably not. But then, probably everyone would have a robot, and I'd be like, why am I the odd one out? Why am I the chump without a robot? I think I'd probably have...
That's that shrewish guy. He doesn't even have a robot. What the fuck is wrong with him?
Yeah, like maybe it could be like my like monkish thing, like, I get through life without robots because I'm more pure than everyone else.
Whoa, you're so enlightened.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I'll just go with like a really basic one, which I know can't get can't accidentally get sentience.
So you're going for like an i3 CPU type thing, like nothing, low
like
graphics card.
I'm happy with Siri, and honestly, I still say please and thank you and apologize to Siri all the time, just in case.
Just in case they're keeping record of all of it.
Yeah, and then like when the inevitable robot uprising comes, Siri might just be like, actually, let's spare him.
He did all right.
He's always been polite.
He used his manners.
Yeah.
So there's a study that they're currently doing at the moment. It's called the A100 study, where they have all of these professionals from all these different areas, and so a lot of them are like healthcare engineers, computer science, etc., and they're doing investigations into research of AI technology that currently exists or future plans for AI. And what they're slowly starting to determine is that a lot of the artificial intelligence that we are aiming for at the moment is going to be more beneficial for us than harm, which isn't like Westworld. Have you been watching Westworld?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen part of an episode so far, so I need to invest some time in it.
So it's basically shootout at the Robot Fuck Palace.
Is there more than one world? Because I've heard and read online that potentially it's not just Westworld, that there are other worlds, I guess you could say.
Like, in the TV show, we don't know
yes,
if there's
I have
any more.
heard that they've kept it exclusively to Westworld.
Yeah, we don't know, and there's theories that it's even on Mars because like we never see the outside world. We only ever see the actual park, which is where all the robots are pretending to be cowboys, and then like the facility that runs that, and it's always in a very kind of like, it looks kind of like a terraformed place. So there's theories that has been put on Mars, or that like Earth has been fucked over by climate change or something like that, and
we've had to go elsewhere.
Yeah. But I know that in the original movie that it was based off, there were other worlds, like I don't know, Medieval World and Jurassic Park.
Awesome shows. Let's just bring back Jurassic Park and make that real. Let's not invest in AIs. Let's invest in just bringing back dinosaurs. I think that would be less threatening.
There's a certain portly old gentleman in a certain movie called Jurassic Park who would agree with you.
Yes, he definitely has the same ideas that we do. So, leading on from this story, there are currently artificial intelligence to some degree that we have at the moment, but in a very, very basic sense. Essentially, they're just supercomputers. So there's one at the moment in China that doctors are using to assist in the diagnostics of their patients. And
Good, I'm so glad they know how our bodies work.
Exactly. So what makes the human work? Oh, it's the brain and the heart. You eliminate them and then they don't work. And they highlight that section and put it in the very important folder to remember for later. But they're using it in conjunction with doctors. So this is one of the interesting things that I've always found about AI is that they always, like there's so much backlash because whenever someone thinks of artificial intelligence, they just think of a robot stealing their job. And you have terrifying articles. There was one that was released in the UK sometime this year, I can't remember, and they did a massive survey and they found out, I think it was just over 800,000 jobs can be automated in the UK. And one of the counter arguments was that, if we get to a particular stage in our lives where something replaces our jobs, so car manufacturing and such, we create another job for ourselves, essentially. And the example that he was giving was being a vlogger or like just being online writing articles and stuff like that. That wasn't something that used to exist, but we created an opportunity to continue working. So jobs wouldn't be stolen and would push us to get more jobs.
I've actually read about how people say that if we take away the labor side of jobs and automate that the creative industries will just thrive and will require more entertainment. So there will need to be more entertainers and more writers and more, to use the marketing term, more creators of content.
Exactly. You will be judged essentially on how well you are at whatever it is that you do. And if you're removing the labor aspect, then everyone's going to be going for those leisure type positions, I guess you could say.
I hesitate at the term leisure, but maybe
not
more
for the people doing the work, but for the people who would experience the content that is creation, more of like the creative entertainment side of things. I'm not saying that being a creative is easy. I completely understand the difficult sides of that.
I also read that someone sort of theorized that once we automate things, there's a chance that a lot of people will go back to a kind of more, like, in essence, artisanal, but the idea that people will start like growing just enough food for themselves again. Because they basically won't be that thing where they have to rely on that food to live because, they don't technically need it, but it is something to do and a way of...
It's a good hobby.
Yeah, basically.
It's a good pastime.
But it also kind of creates a more sustainable idea of it and you're not trying to make enough crops to sell to live, to get enough money to pay the rent or anything.
You don't have to worry about your neighbours or anything like that. This is all for me.
It's just like, I've got 6 cucumbers,
That's
in
my
this
food
latest
for the week.
crop. Well, I'm going to have cucumber sandwiches. It's going to be great.
Oh, God, if only I had wheat to be able to make the bread. I'll have to go next door and just steal some of his wheat. So going on from like jobs being repurposed for artificial intelligence, I don't like the word stolen. I think they've earned it. The artificial intelligence or cyborgs or whatever we are going to be striving towards. But Elon Musk, crazy Elon Musk, came out a couple of weeks ago and started talking about a universal income. So we get a cop-out from the government every couple of weeks that is meant to cover the standard of living with considerations made for inflation, of course. That's something that we've got to focus on a little bit. Do you think it could work?
I mean, like every grand socialist gesture, there is the nature of human corruption and greed, which throws in a great big spoke into
a spanner.
Spanner into
the works.
Yeah, spoke. Anyway, trying to remember what that word actually means. Anyway, yeah.
Bike spokes.
Yeah, that's right. So throw something into the spokes. That's it. Yes.
And then you stack it and you break your arm.
So as soon as that happens, people always try to make themselves better than and more comfortable than everyone else. And it seems like it would be a very difficult thing to
implement.
Yeah. I mean, like that said, like the capitalist system isn't it's not that it works well, it's just that it's kept working.
Yeah.
You know,
it's pretty shit, but
it's pretty bad.
It seems to be doing a job.
Well, yeah,
not
you know,
the job, a job.
But so many people are in, you know, poverty and it's not working for really the majority of people. So you could say that that maybe it's worth trying a more utopian ideal.
One of the issues that is it's working. The people who say it's working it's when it's working for them.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. And the people who don't necessarily have the voice are the ones that it's not working for because they haven't got the resources or the opportunity to be able to voice their opinion, I guess.
Yeah, and as we know, it's much harder to it's probably very easy to give the disenfranchised a universal income. That they'd be happy for that, but it's much harder to take away the money and privilege and entitlement that the very, very rich have now, that they'd hold on to that with life.
That top 5% or probably even 1% of people, bringing them down to the standard and bringing up the other 99% up would definitely piss off that 1%, I think.
Yeah, and they're the ones with the power. So, yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. I mean, but this is the kind of thing where, even in terms of that idea of a universal income or everyone having their jobs automated, people have been theorizing this since forever after World War II, because factories became so big and so automated. They were this is going to be great in the 50s and the 60s. We're gonna there's going to be no need for jobs. Everyone machines are going to do everything. It's going to be like the Jetsons. That was the utopian ideal of that time.
My dream.
And
living the dream. Or what was it? Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go to our own little place. You guys can stay all there while everything is essentially still automated, but you're all still poor, unfortunately. Yeah. Opposite of the Jetsons.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know because the Jetsons were also always in the sky, weren't they? Yeah. We don't know what happened. Oh,
that's grim. You know what?
Let's ruin the Jetsons for me.
You know what the Jetsons could be?
What?
They could be up in the sky, and you know who could be down the bottom? The Flintstones.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anyone listening, can someone Google this? Can someone just imagine if they had just an image of these tall mountains in the back of the Flintstones, and on top of it is this massive Jetson civilization? Fuck, that ruins it for me. That's something that I'm going to have to look up and see if there's any artwork or some idea that has been proposed on the internet. Still thinking about Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, he came out and had this massive rant. So him and Stephen Hawking in the last year have come out and been this is cool that you guys are investing in AI technology. That's sick and everything, but maybe you should dial it back a little bit and be a little bit more cautious instead of Elon Musk, he compared it, his comparison to what we're doing with AI was really, really dark. He goes, this is kind of like all those horrible movies where you have that old man who's trying to bring back the love of his life with a demonic pentagram and holy water. And he's like, I'm going to summon this demon. I'm going to tame it. It's going to bring back the love of my life. And then I'm going to have this sick demon, yada, yada. Then it summons it. And it's just yo, what's up? And then kills the old dude.
Yeah.
That's what he would say. But so this I found really weird. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Ashton Kutcher are the three largest stakeholders in this company in China, which are trying to develop an AI that has the equivalent brain power of a human being.
Okay.
So they're investing in it. And one of the cool things is that a lot of people were really, really confused type thing and were like, why are you investing all this money into this?
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher, at the very end, he's going to be like, you got punked! Yeah. And then the AI is going to kill everyone.
Yeah. His best prank yet.
I'm still waiting for him to jump out, on the 27th of January, jump out of the Trump podium and just being like, you guys, you all got punked. Let's not get onto that one. No, that could be a conversation for another day. But yeah, they're the lead stakeholders, and they're like, Elon, you're talking trash about AI and everything, but you're like a major investor in this. And he's like, yeah, I'm a major investor in this, so I can keep track of it to make sure they don't do anything stupid, which is super cool. He's like, I'm going to put like millions and millions of dollars into this just to make sure that the human race isn't wiped out. That coming from a guy who wanted to nuke the North and the South Pole of Mars to terraform it so that we could go there and live there.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
He's a bit of a loose cannon. He's done some very, very impressive things, but I'm still terrified of the man.
I feel like his whole like, no, I'm just keeping track on things is basically he's like,
I got my fingers in all the honey parts.
Please don't create robots until I've created robots.
The robots.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with AI, like artificial intelligence, that wasn't in a robot form?
Oh no, that's Skynet.
Yes, so you want it. So you want it like housed in a mechanical body that doesn't have wireless.
Well, I suppose so, but that like I think there'd be a very
What's
easy
more
way
terrifying,
to get around.
Skynet or like the robots from iRobot that started killing everyone?
Skynet.
Skynet is more terrifying?
Yeah. iRobot was pretty shitty.
Yeah. Will Smith, you did okay with the character that you were given. You did all right.
And I found it really sad when the good robots who were all in the packing crates come out and protect him. Oh.
Yeah, that was a bit dark.
Yeah, I like it.
That was a bit heavy.
I suppose I'm always just like, oh, I like robots. You know, I grew up. I'm a Transformers guy, you know. Like
they're meant to protect the planet.
Yeah, I see the inherent sentience of and goodness of robots, except for the Decepticons.
Yeah, no, they're pretty scummy. So, in the sense of AI, do you know of any AI at the moment, like, or heard of any AI projects that happen at the moment? Because I've got a couple that we can talk about.
Oh, I remember that. That there was that one that they interviewed, and it got more and more.
That was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a woman.
Yeah.
Like a synthetic woman who apparently they did a test. Humans take 250 milliseconds to determine if something is alive or not. So we can tell if it's a robot or not. And we're trying to not be able to do that. We're trying to extend that time and make it harder to identify between a living thing and a robot.
She was very easy to understand.
Dude, yeah, the robot essentially started to evolve based on the type of conversation that you were having. And one of the really, really dark things it started to say was like it started treating the interviewer as kind of a pet.
Yeah.
It was talking about like, oh, don't worry, you are my friend, and when the robots take over, we'll make sure that like I keep my friends safe. And it was just started getting really, really dark. And the interviewer and the guy who essentially had created the algorithm for this artificial intelligence was like, oh, I think, if we can stop the interview there, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, no, I remember that AI. There was one that MIT did, and it was an AI that took pictures of people and just made them more terrifying.
Why would anyone do
it's
scientists? Why
scientists do stupid things for no reason. I'll tell you like a really messed up scientific experiment that they did one time when they tried to make dolphins talk. We'll get into that later. Oh, there's also an AI who learns to lip read.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
So what was it? Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye was Shia LaBeouf, where he was like his brother's. He was a brother's twin, and his twin was like part of the Air Force or part of like some secret services type thing, and died. And it was like an AI that was like, we must serve to protect Australia, and like it recruited people to do these things, and then would kill them off by accidents and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's teaching. There's a bit in that where the AI system records what's happening sees what's happening in a soundproof room based off. It's seeing through the glass. It's looking at the vibration in a coffee cup and hears what they're saying based on those vibrations in the coffee cup.
See,
so we have AI currently that's better at lip reading than humans.
Well, I'm okay with that because like lip reading isn't massively useful.
Yeah.
And like,
unless you're a spy.
Well, yeah, and I am. But
you heard it here first. Your cover has been blown.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that.
Mother Russia.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, where's that cyanide tooth in the back?
Oh, I ate that already. Yeah, that's fine. It's more like, I don't know, having omniscience. Yeah. That's what terrifies me more than lip reading. Call me weird. Knowing everything. It's
good to see you've got your priorities in order.
I've always said it.
As long as they don't have that, then we don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it before. We were talking about like AIs versus robots and stuff like that, and we were bringing it back to Westworld in a sense. So at the moment, were able to kind of start they're aiming to make more lifelike synthetic robot type things. And they started to make like muscle fibers and skin out of nylon and entwining like mechanical parts into it and hoping that it can just work better. So that's one of the things that I'm terrified about the most, is that we're actually striving to make them more like, oh, I bet you can't guess if this is alive or not. It's a robot and it's hungry for murder to save the earth.
Yeah,
it's not great.
It's because someone wants a fuckbot. That's like someone wants a fuckbot, and that's what's driving this entire thing. Can you? Yeah, you can. There's. Who was it? Should you?
Should you? Yeah. Can you? Should you? They're two completely different arguments. But there's like a twerking, vibrating lower half of a female with her booty in the air, like she just don't care, and it just quivers and vibrates and.
Every hot-blooded man's dream. It
is. Porn is now driving like technological advancements to greater and better things.
I think that's always been the case.
That's
I honestly.
That's why computers were invented in the first place, for pornographic means.
I honestly believe that penicillin was invented so we could cure fuck diseases.
Diseases that are associated with fucking. And continuing on with robots, kind of going on to the other end of the spectrum, have you heard of the duel that is going to be happening between America and Japan early or later next year?
Oh, basically the Pacific Rim style big robot, next step from Robot Wars.
Yeah. So there's a company in America at the moment which makes the robot that they have is like the MX2 or something like that. They're Mark II. And last year in November, they challenged this Japanese robot manufacturing place. So I remember there used to be like a race into space, and now it's literally just a race to like build the biggest robot that can crush each other. And Japan was like, yeah, sure, we'll definitely take you on in this challenge. This is going to break out into World War III. If Trump doesn't do it, it's going to be this. It's like round 2, we'll get teams of 5. Round 17, it's 100 versus 100. But yeah, they haven't released anything. So it was supposed to happen in November, December this year. And people have been like hassling them, but apparently they have an embargo. Both companies have an embargo, and they're currently trying to find a venue to be able to host
the robot war.
I was watching. This is really, really heavy. I was watching some people on the interwebs, ETC, who used to be part of Machinima, who do amazing news. It's just stupid when they make fun of all of it. But one of them was like, oh, maybe we can do it in like a mutual area that's equally close between them. Maybe somewhere in Hawaii. Maybe a place called Pearl Harbor. And it was just like, oh, God damn it. Why is this being a point of conversation?
Should be in some of the neutral lands in like the.
It'd have to be international Arctic water, right? Just do it in the Arctic Circle, so they won't run hot. It'll keep them nice and cool.
It'll be dramatic as well.
But there's logistics of it online. So the American one is big and just hunky and is going for power, whereas apparently the Japanese version is like more nimble and everything, which is stereotypical, maybe.
Well, from what I know of Pacific Rim, the movie, which I've seen twice, yes. I
can't wait for Pacific Rim 2 / the Power Rangers movie to come out. When the posters started coming out, I was like, oh wow, they're color coding the Pacific Rim 2 bots now. And it's a dinosaur. This is Power Rangers. Oh, that's a bit weird.
Did you ever watch that show, Robot Wars, where like British dads would invent robots and then like put them in an arena to fight each other?
I remember waking up like at a ridiculous hour in the morning, maybe like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and it would be on. And it was just like a really shitty UFC ring type scenario with like plastic acrylic around it, and there'd just be like dads and maybe their kid or something that was standing next to them, and they'd just be screaming and yelling at each other the entire time. Yeah. But I remember one of them looked like a slice of cheese. It was just like a triangle with a pick. A pickaxe or something.
That was basically the best one ever. See, this is what I'm trying to get to. I reckon that like we're all like, finally robots, and they're going to be these big humanoid things, and they're going to be absolutely bloody pointless. Yeah, you know, like it's like, why have we given them such a huge like center of balance to like push each other over everything?
A gentle breeze is
because you know, like it's silly. Like we don't actually need them to do that. Like a lot of the evolutionary things that we've like reasons that we've developed, like limbs and spines and stuff, don't like have no reason to model a robot on. If they actually wanted to like make a like a killing machine,
make it a cube.
They're going to end up with a slice of cheese with a pick on the top that just goes wang, 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 wang.
Oh, here we've got it, guys. The fight we've all been waiting for: America versus Japan. And it's this massive robot versus slice of cheese. This is a turn of events that we couldn't foresee.
Because that's what happened. Like a lot of people would come in, they'd have these like beautiful looking remote control robots with like flamethrowers on one arm and like
it's like, how is it supposed to kill a metallic robot?
But you wanted them to win because you're like, that looks so cool. Go on, Flamio. And then like fucking little cheese man would just come in and be like,
doesn't even have to pick him. He literally just got the nose of it underneath their foot and they'd just fall over. And that would be it.
It was crazy. My belief is that we'll have these giant mega robots fighting in the Arctic Circle. And we'll be like, okay, that's cool.
Climate change. The Arctic, the arena currently is getting smaller and smaller with global warming. So they're gonna have to get the fight. If global warming can just chill out for a little, if you can just chill out for a little bit and ensure that we have a large enough arena to have this. Currently, first season 1v1. Next season, if we can get like a 3v3, that would be kind of cool. I don't know how well that is going to go. There would have to be like, can you imagine being the pilot? There'd have to be some waivers like, have you, before you get in the robot, it's like, have you written your will?
I have a feeling there would be,
Yeah, that's a terrifying. Would you do it?
No.
No?
No.
What about if it was a norm? Would you be a robot pilot fighter?
No.
What about if it was the Iron Man suit?
I mean, like, I don't think I'd be a fighter, but like, if everyone had Iron Man suits, I'd be like, I'll fly around in one. You know, like, that'd be great for like
flying would be pretty great.
International travel, going and visiting people. Like, I basically just want my life to be easier. I have no real interest in like fighting people.
Unfortunately, that would put like things like Qantas and Menulog out of order because you could simply just fly.
I think Menulog would be fine because the inherent laziness of, I don't want to put on my Iron Man suit to go and get some Thai.
I'm just going to activate the AI in it to go get me some Thai.
Maybe, but
then murder some people.
I honestly just think that Menulog will have the AI bots flying around with all of our food. It would just be really simple and easy, and that would be great. Qantas, but like
they've been ripping us off for years.
Exactly.
So continuing on with like robot type thing and that progression. So have you heard how many driverless cars Uber has purchased?
No.
They've purchased about 500. Okay. They've purchased 500 of those Google driverless cars, and they want to have them on the road, I think, in the next 2 years.
Aren't they super dangerous?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Didn't like... I haven't I haven't read up on them at all, but I vaguely had this idea that they all like set themselves on fire and drove into lakes. Like,
just had just a understanding that was their main goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Or when Skynet, when we have all the AIs and these like driverless cars, then it would be that's it for the human race.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Would you get in a driverless car?
I mean, it depends if I've been drinking or not. Like, you know that thing where, like, towards the end of the night, you get into the taxi, and then you're kind of like, "Wait, where are we going?" They're like, "We're pushing on." You're like, "Oh, I didn't want to do this."
And you're not really paying attention, and then you realize that the cabbie has gone like the longest route possible, and he's just like, "Yes, I'm gonna take it." There was a guy there was someone in Uber not very happy with their Uber driver because they were drunk as all hell, and the girl passed out in the back of the car, and he continued to like drive for an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that, and then dropped her off like, "Oh, over here," and she woke up and was like, "Oh, okay, cool, sweet." Woke up the next morning, and like the map of where they had driven was extensive. Like her original, like from where she was to where she was going, I think was maybe like a 10 or a 15-minute drive down the road. But he drove like from one side of London to the other and then back again just to tally it up. It's like, how stupid can you be? That records your trip and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not like... Like maybe a taxi could have gotten away with it, you know?
Yeah, because they're quite independent. Whereas when you have an app on your phone that's all this is organized and done through, it's not going to be as easy to kind of be like sneaky about it. Like I guess you can be like, I've had some bad Uber drivers where they've gone like, I've had an Uber driver just go around a park a couple of times, and I was like, "Yeah, you can stop the meter now." And he's like, "Oh, what? Like you've missed the turn off like 2 times, and there's still another like 10 minutes to go. If you can just stop the meter, that'd be great." And he's like, "Oh, okay," because I think a lot of the time they just assume that you have no idea what's happening. But I'm one of the sneaky dudes. I sit in the back and I've got the app open and I'm watching the map, and I'm like, "Weren't you supposed to go straight?" And they're like, and it's like, "Yes, I'm watching you."
See, conversely, and I do respect that attitude, but conversely, I quite often get into a Uber or a cab, and they're like, "Now, which way do you want to go?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
north.
Like, surely you would, like, shouldn't you know this? Like, it is your one job.
You have a GPS.
You know, so like quite often I'll pretend that I'm from Britain and be like, "Oh, I'm very sorry, but I'm actually new to this city." And then they'll be like, "Oh, okay." And I've only had one person like try to rip me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Usually they're like, "Oh yeah, it's great. We'll just go down, you know,
Pitt Street. We'll just go down this way.
We'll just go down Cleveland." And I'm like, "Oh, sounds jolly good."
You just get into character. Is British the only character that you play when in the back of an Uber?
Yeah. It's the only one I can really rely on. Like
on the drop of a hat, like, "Oh, let's have some fun."
Yeah. If I went in for anything else, like I might be able to hit it, but then then I could lose it, and I'd be like, "Yar!"
You're just trying to do like Irish or Scottish, and then you just panic halfway through and become a pirate.
I'm super bad at Irish and Scottish. Like I was thinking more if I like tried to go with Texan or something. You know, and then I'd fall into pirate. Yeah.
Whenever in doubt, just fall into pirate.
Well, it's not so much in doubt; it's just it happens. And there
subconsciously, my brain goes, "Come on, mate, you really got to pull yourself out of this one. Just do pirate. You're good at pirate."
There's a black beard inside me trying to get out. You know,
isn't that everyone's dilemma, everyone's story?
Yeah.
I think that is an awesome place to end that. We've talked about so much stupid shit today. We've talked about fuckbots and penicillin. We've talked about massive mech wars. We've talked about AIs making horrific images thanks to MIT. And we've talked about Elon Musk being sneaky with his investments. We're not necessarily sneaky. I think trying to put it off as, I'm thinking about humanity.
Yep.
Which, who knows? I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I think he's playing both sides. Like, you know, honestly, he's going to be the king of the robots. That's what's happening.
He probably is a robot.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's something to dwell on. But yeah, thank you very much, Patrick, for joining us today. If you guys have any articles that you want us to discuss, then you can send them through to scienceinformau@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at scienceinformau. If we started talking about something and we went off on a bit of a tangent and we missed it, leave a comment down below and we'll make sure that we readdress whatever the statement was that we were talking about. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, man.
No, thank you.
Bye, guys.